My wife scammed me for a stranger. We had been married for 5 solid years, both young professionals with a comfortable life, and I honestly believed we were building our future together. Then she sat me down on a Tuesday evening to drop the bomb. We needed to take massive risks to truly live. Then she demanded I authorize transferring our joint nest egg to a vaguely defined startup run by a guy she just met. I sat there staring at her, paralyzed. She mistook my shock for hesitation and kept pitching it harder, talking about massive returns. When I finally found my voice, I shut it down completely. I told her there was zero chance I was gambling our future on a whim. The tension skyrocketed. We agreed to step away and revisit the topic when our heads were clear. By Friday, she came at me with claws out. She called me a coward, financially controlling, and ridiculed every logical concern. Exhausted, I finally gave her an ultimatum. I told her if she took a single cent of our money, my bags would be packed, and the next person she'd speak to would be my attorney. She erupted. It was like a switch flipped. She screamed that I was holding her back, hurled the vase, and shattered it against the wall inches from my head. The crash was so loud the neighbors started banging on their ceiling. I told her if protecting our security made her this violent, we needed to end this nightmare immediately. I grabbed my jacket and drove off while she was still screaming. I spent the weekend at a cheap motel staring at the ceiling. She blew up my phone with aggressive texts, but I stayed silent. When I went back to the house on Sunday, the real story came spilling out. This founder was a guy she met at a networking event. She confessed she felt an intense, undeniable spark. She claimed it was purely a business mentorship, but she needed to travel out of state with him for a month to get the company off the ground. Even after everything, she fiercely defended the plan. She insisted it wouldn't change our marriage. I stared at the woman sitting across from me and realized I didn't recognize her at all. I told her if she wanted a life with him, she could have it, but she was doing it without me. I immediately locked down our joint accounts, threw clothes in a duffel bag, and went back to the motel. 8 years, completely nuked over some delusional fantasy. The next day, her sister organized a mediation dinner. My wife showed up a sobbing mess, begging for a second chance. She swore the guy was blocked everywhere. She promised full financial transparency and pleaded with me to attend therapy. Reluctantly, I agreed to move back into the guest room with strict boundaries. We didn't even make it to the end of the week. I was looking for our vehicle registration in the glove box of her car. Behind the manual, I found a thick manila envelope. Inside was a freshly signed commercial lease agreement for an upscale studio apartment across town, co-signed by my wife and this mystery guy. The date on the signature was from 3 weeks before she ever brought up the investment to me. When I dropped the lease on the kitchen counter, all the blood drained from her face. She immediately started spinning lies, claiming she only co-signed to help him secure the spot because of his bad credit. I didn't even yell. I just walked away. 6 weeks later, she isn't crying about losing our marriage anymore. She's desperately blowing up my phone because her new soulmate drained the credit lines she opened for him and vanished, leaving her drowning in debt and facing a brutal lawsuit from the landlord. She wants me to bail her out. Full story on the channel, link below.